I didn't come up with this idea of giving $27. Only thing I was trying to do in a helplessness, in a frustrations, in an utter hopelessness of the situation, I thought I may not be useful as an economist, but I'm sure I'm still useful as a human being. As I was going around in the village, I saw how crushing the system of money lending is in that village. I read about money lending before. It's in the literature, it's in the poem, it's in the play. That character of moneylender is everywhere. But I did not realize how ruthless money lending can be. So after 1 and 2 and 3 such incidents, I wanted to make sure I understand how it goes on in that village. So I took a student of mine and went around in the village to make a list of people who borrowed from the moneylenders and how much. It took me and my student about a week to prepare the list. When the list was complete, there were 42 names on my list. And the total loan they took in total was $27. And that was a big shock to an economics professor who is used to talk in the classroom in terms of millions of dollars and billions of dollars, in terms of 5-year development plans to change the country. Had no idea how people suffer only few yards from his classroom, not for millions of dollars, but for literally for pennies. I looked at that list and I realized how tough the problem of money lending is. But something gave me an idea, a flash of an idea. I immediately saw the problem is difficult, but the solution is so simple. I got very thrilled by my own idea. The solution to me, why don't I take this money from my pocket and give these 42 people the money, $27, to return the money to the moneylenders, and they will be free. Nobody can torture them anymore. I did exactly that. But people look at me in a strange way. At the beginning, I couldn't figure out whether this was sudden or permanent. Now I see that it's becoming a regular thing. People look at me in a very interesting way. They look at me as if I have descended from heaven. Then a question came to my mind in a funny way. I said, if you can become an angel for $27, maybe you should do more. And the question that came, if you can make so many people so happy with such a small amount of money, why shouldn't you do more of it? So that was the thought that was going through my mind, and I was thinking how to do more of it. One idea came, why don't I go to the bank, which is located right in the campus, and tell the manager that he can lend the money and he can become the angel. And I thought he will immediately accept that because it's such a small amount of money. When I proposed to the bank, the manager said, no way, you cannot lend money to the poor people. After months of trying, finally I came up with another idea. I offered myself as a guarantor. I said, I become the guarantor, you save your rules, and I get the money for the people. It took another 2 months with that proposal to persuade them. Finally they agreed, not because they were persuaded by my arguments, they just wanted to get rid of me by giving some money. Because they were absolutely sure I will do it only once and I'll never repeat it again because it will never work. So they thought maybe just give him some money and forget about the whole thing. They were wrong. It was absolutely, superbly successful. Every penny came back. I had no idea that it will happen like that, but it happened. So that was the beginning of expanding it. The more successful it became, the more reluctant the bank became. So seeing his reluctance, I said, forget about him. Why don't we create a separate bank just for the poor people? So a new struggle began to persuade the government to help to create this new bank, which I'm asking for, by creating a new law. And that struggle that I made in early 70s or late 70s, still valid. I was arguing, you cannot run the you can't run the program that I'm running with a conventional bank. Government was trying to persuade me to create the bank under the existing banking law. And I was saying that it cannot be done because if I do it under the existing banking law, the bank will become the same old bank that I'm working against. And today I express it because this problem still remains. I kept telling the banking law that exists is an architecture of a super tanker. It can carry a lot of cargo, lots of oil or whatever cargo you give, and then goes to the deep ocean. I said, I cannot create the bank like a super tanker. When we talk about microcredit is a little dinghy boat. It goes under the shallow water. I cannot create a dinghy boat with the architecture of a super tanker. Because if I do that, it will collapse, it will not work. So I need a separate law. And finally we succeeded, we got the law. That's how we became a bank.